Hello peoples, it's some random video time. I've got this backdrop today to cut out the distractions so it's less distracting. I want to talk about duality and how it affects like conversations and the world around us and our thinking. A lot of people, they watch videos because they don't like to think for themselves. They don't want to use mental energy. It's like work in a way. But I encourage everyone to think for themselves because it's really important in our world today. We have media and we have a filter through which reality can be presented to us as something differently than it is. And if you're into ancient research and all this weird trippy stuff, oftentimes you find out things are presented in an opposite fashion than they actually are. For example, and this one's a little bit controversial, but Donald Trump, and I don't turn it off yet because I got a good point that I noticed right away in the media whenever people were talking about him running that he was a business guy with a ton of money. And if you're a conspiracy theorist and you think about the government and the election, you always think, well, they're just dancing monkeys that they get paid to do a specific. There's people that fund them so that when they come into power that they can give back to these people, right? But someone with all this money, they don't need funding. They don't need buy-ins. They don't need people under the table. They don't need to be cutting people deals. And the first thing I saw when that happened was how the entire media attacked him. And I grew up. Political elections were kind of a big deal, even though a lot of people didn't vote. They were on TV and everything. When Bush won and got less votes, everybody freaked the fuck out. It happened again. Anyway, I didn't see anything different about this guy, about anything worse about this guy than any other phony guy that we had put up there in the past. And in this case, I was kind of glad that we had somebody who seemed honest, who seemed like they had a hard time pretending and putting on a face for us. But everything attacked him, and then it worked. Like, everybody hated the guy. Everybody continues to hate the guy. No matter how many things he tries to do to change his reputation, the media attacks him. Which, now, you can look at it however way you want, and I don't want to change your opinion. I'm just saying that with things like this, when the media all tells you one thing, you should have a part in your brain that says, maybe that's not the truth. Because they also told us for years that marijuana would make you go crazy and jump out of a window. They also told us for years, they do that. They can create our reality through the media that we're presented. And if you don't take the time to cut through the BS, to research on your own, to use every resource at your capability, to find out your own truth and think for yourself, then you'll be stuck believing what 60% of people are out there saying, repeating what other people are saying, right? So the reason this duality is important is because if I say I'm a Christian, which I'm no longer, but if I say that can mean two different things to you. If you are a believer and you are a Christian and you have good morals, then you're going to think a Christian is a person that wants to help other people, that is selfless by nature. However, a Christian in the organized term usually means look out. Like if I tell you I'm a Christian, you're going to think, oh, what's this person judging me for? This person thinks they're better than me. A lot of the religious people that you meet are still stuck on the fact that you have to do certain things to get into heaven, and then if you don't do that, and you've got to be a certain way and you're not godly. That is the opposite. Those are opposite people portrayed by the same word. And you can do that with a bunch of different things. And not only are there words that have corresponding dualities, but there are whole categories of corresponding dualities where you can look at anything that exists, such as food, grass, animals. There's artificial versions being made of all these things, or at least synthetic versions of all these things. So you have this naturally occurring, you got like K2 on one side, the synthetic pot, and the naturally occurring pot, right? Which one would you smoke? Not saying smoke pot. Just saying, you know you would smoke the regular pot before the K2. Why? Because it knows you, and you know it, and you've been evolving with it for a long time. And our feeble attempts at recreating the things that have been evolving for a long time. I'm getting off track, but anyway, remember to think for yourself. Remember to stay open-minded and allow people to explain themselves, to have an open conversation and debate about things, because in this topsy-turvy world we live in, black is white and white is black and up is down and left is right. So you got to even know which direction you're facing before you know which way to go. You know what I'm saying? Alright.